to the Middle East. What do you think the chances are of something coming out of this that looks like a political détente, if you like, around Iran, as opposed to just business, which is what the president has said he's going there for? Can we get some politics out of this too?
Well, let's be clear about what this trip is all about. This is President Trump's corruption tour of the Middle East. He is going to the Gulf in order to collect tribute. What's happening here is an extraordinary level of corruption. We shouldn't pretend this is business as usual. What the president is doing is giving countries like Saudi Arabia and UAE what they want. For Saudi Arabia, it's a civilian nuclear deal with the United States. For the UAE, it is taking some of the restrictions off of the way that semiconductors flow into that country. And in exchange, Trump is not asking for any benefit to the American people. He's not asking for any movement towards peace in the region. He's asking for cash. He's asking for cash payments. UAE is giving him that through this deal on cryptocurrency, in which they are paying, doing a big deal through Trump Crypto. And, of course, we just found out this weekend that Qatar is going to be giving Donald Trump a plane, apparently personally. So that's the story of this trip. On Iran, I mean, listen, obviously, I want a diplomatic agreement with Iran. But what tragedy it would be if the result of these negotiations is to move Iran from where it is today, a handful of weeks away from a nuclear weapon, if it wanted one, to a year, which is what the stated objective is. That was the deal that President Obama had negotiated, that Donald Trump walked away from. We wouldn't have to be at the negotiating table today talking about extending the time frame for an Iranian nuclear weapon out to a year if Donald Trump hadn't thrown that agreement in the trash. So it's just a sign of both the corruption and the incompetence of this administration's foreign policy.
Senator, the situation in Gaza is grim and getting grimmer every day for the people who live there. The chances of any kind of deal over Gaza seem to have just disappeared from not just the headlines, but serious negotiations as well at the moment. It does look like we're going to get the last remaining Israeli-American being held hostage out. Do you feel that this administration has now just washed its hands of the Gaza situation? Having produced, we saw that extraordinary video of Gaza being the kind of Trump Riviera of the Middle East.
Well, there was an extraordinary moment right at the transition where you had both the outgoing Biden administration and the incoming Trump administration working to produce a ceasefire and a deal to release hostages. But then since then, Donald Trump has done nothing meaningful to put pressure on the Israeli government, or nothing really meaningful to put pressure on Hamas in order to bring not only a permanent ceasefire, but a move towards a political settlement. What Bibi Netanyahu is contemplating doing right now is re-entering this war, ultimately for the purpose of essentially eradicating from big parts of Gaza the Palestinian people. That will guarantee a long-term insurgency. That will hurt the long-term security of Israel and likely the United States as well. So this next step that Netanyahu is contemplating taking, essentially restarting the war, it has real consequences for the United States. So it's a moment where this trip should include some real diplomacy on Gaza, but because Trump is only focusing on padding his own pockets, he's not going to Israel. He's only going to the countries that are willing to pay him off.
And we will see when that hostage gets out. We'll bring you that news as well. Democratic member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.